When the Founding Fathers declared that they were pledging our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor for the good of their fellow countrymen, they meant it. When they asserted that governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, they meant it. The Founding Fathers were not pushovers. They were dedicated, they were impassioned, and they were unyielding in defense of the liberty which they knew was the natural right of each and every human being. To George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison, the patriots upon whose shoulders we now stand, liberty is among the three most sacred natural rights of mankind, and government's essential purpose is to protect this fundamental right. But today, in 21st century America, this revolutionary vision of a free people is in jeopardy. Our destiny is in question. Our very freedoms and the Constitution which birthed guarantees and established protections for those freedoms are in peril. The shroud of the nanny state has fallen. Freedom is now being subordinated to the much heralded solution to all the nation's problems, government. If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. When he said this, Sir Isaac Newton meant that discovering the truths of the universe depend greatly upon previous discoveries. We cannot divorce today's understandings of the universe from the lessons of the past. We must learn from them, contribute to them, and lay the groundwork for the next wave. The United States of America was and continues to be built on the shoulders of patriots, passionate advocates for constitutional liberty, who sacrificed so much so that ours would be a free nation. These patriots were in many cases military heroes, yes, but they were also ordinary citizens and preeminent statesmen, taking the case for freedom across the land, into the courtroom, and within the halls of Congress and the White House. As committed conservatives, we have devoted ourselves to meaningful and eternal truths. The rights are God-given, not man-made. That each of us has a duty and an obligation to secure those rights for ourselves and our posterity. And that government's role is fundamentally to protect individual rights, not to provide for every personal need of the people. Unfortunately, this understanding of a free society is under attack by those who claim to espouse social justice. On college campuses across the country, in Starbucks at every street corner, and even within the halls of Congress, leftists are becoming increasingly emboldened, and their attitude threatens our very way of life. This harmful ideology is largely rooted in the words of the original social justice president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Looking back on his so-called program of progress, FDR observed, as new conditions and problems arise beyond the power of men and women to meet as individuals, it becomes the duty of the government itself to find new remedies with which to meet them. Government has the definite duty to use all its power and resources to meet new social problems with new social controls. Notice those words, new social controls. This can be a very broad term, but it is one that is so fitting among many on the left today. Consider what's happening on college campuses. A course at Reed College in Portland is called Humanities 110, and it was focused on the traditional Judeo-Christian and Greco-Roman canon. But that was much too white to tolerate. As the Wall Street Journal put it, protesters shouted down lecturers, forcibly grabbed microphones, and shut down class. The faculty finally voted to prohibit protesters from attending the class, and the college had to issue no contact orders to stop them from harassing staff. But cutting half the canon and replacing it with works from Mexico City and Harlem wasn't enough. More white texts need to be cut from the curriculum, they argue, as reparations for Humanities 110's history of erasing the histories of people of color, especially black people. Yet letting these social justice warriors change the curriculum entirely leaves out other voices, which is exactly why they were supposedly protesting the class in the first place. Then let's take the nanny state. We need more good-paying jobs in this country, and Milton Friedman once had a great idea. Why don't we just round up some folks, give them some supersized spoons, and have them work on construction projects? We can pay them $15 an hour, offer paid family leave, and give them free health care. We'll call it a job. You laugh, but Democratic senators like Bernie Sanders, Kirsten Gillibrand, and Cory Booker are actually proposing federal jobs guarantee programs. For example, $1 an hour or the prevailing minimum wage, with health benefits and paid family leave. No word on how many spoons they're going to need yet. Think about it. Each of us here today is, I would say, fairly well off. But imagine you're in poverty, with much to pay for and little to keep for yourself. Along comes a gentleman by the name of Uncle Sam, and he offers you a pathway to what seems like liberation. Trust me, he says, and I will take care of you. I will provide you with food, housing, a college education, health care, and more. You will want for nothing. I'll give it to you for free, albeit with certain stipulations. Or you can work for it if you feel like it. I'll pay you what I think you're worth, with the benefits that I think you're worth, and with somebody else's money. Voila, you have a job, because I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. I don't know about you, but this sounds a lot like a life of indentured servitude to me, not a life of freedom. But such is the ideology of the left. At its core, leftism views individuals as people who have problems that need to be fixed, and government and aggressive social pressure are the means with which to fix those problems, and the problems of society at large. They believe that government and social solutions are more important than your talent, drive, and ability. The conscience of a conservative, however, cannot abide such a belittling notion of the individual. Unlike those who claim to want to advance social justice, we have far too much faith in the people. As conservatives, we have incredible confidence in the individual's capacity to improve their own lives through hard work, dedication, and voluntary collaboration with others in their community. The protection of individual liberty, regardless of race and ethnicity, through self-government is paramount. And we acknowledge this simple truth, that the role of government is to be limited, its purpose first and foremost, to protect our God-given rights to life, liberty, and property. These bedrock principles are what the United States of America has always stood for, and we cannot allow them to slip through our fingers. We are on a brink. If the conservative movement turns its back on its history now, there is no return. It is in this spirit that we are ethically obligated to forward the goals of those who sacrificed before us for this cause. We are ethically obligated to pursue self-governance, to secure liberty, to protect the rights of the minority. Our values embrace these ideals. It is especially crucial that conservatives within my generation, the millennial generation, and the younger Generation Z rise up in defense of the foundations of the Constitution and of the American way of life. We owe it to those who built conservatism to learn from their experience and to continue that legacy. To my fellow young people here today, I echo the words of President Ronald Reagan. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We must not abandon the core values that so many fought for in a time of change. Rather, we must all answer the call to duty, to strengthen those ideals and keep the flames burning for generations yet to come. Our principles, our values, this is how we fight, this is how we change the world. And one day, ours may be the shoulders upon whom future generations will stand. Thank you.